Over this past week, I have been hard at research on finding the secret to making great levels. And in this video, I will not only tell you the secret but also 3 examples to showcase it, and maybe a bonus tip at the end, so that your game can be the star of GMTK's next video essay. Level design is hard. I mean, it has to be. Think about it. It is the one way through which your audience interacts with your game. Everything has to be perfect to its minute detail, else the player would find the game boring and leave it. Great levels not only capture the audience throughout the duration of the level's objective, but also provide unique ways to experience it over and over again by the virtue of your player's movement. Remember how right at the start of Super Mario 64, in the outer grounds of the Mushroom Castle, how much of a joy just jumping off from the trees, spinning, swimming, etc. was. It was all thanks to the way Mario moved, that although the goal of the level was to make you enter the castle by crossing the bridge, the level allowed the player to take their time and have fun with Mario's physics before letting them move forward on their own accord. Now that's a great level. So what is the secret to making great level? Your level should either support or challenge your player's movement. Let me explain with this one example. It is the June of 1991. Your parents have just bought you the hottest game on the market. You boot it up and welcome to Green Hill Zone, birthplace of one of the most iconic levels of all time. Right past your first checkpoint, you enter a tunnel, which upon exiting immediately provides you with 3 routes. Up until now, the game has taught you moving forward and jumping, enabling you to take the upper 2 routes with the support of the platform provided to you by the level. To take the upper path, you must correctly time the jump button to jump off of the platform. The level thereby gives you a challenge based on the support it has provided you with, rewarding you with points if you manage to overcome it, or punishing you if you fail to do so. The game, however, goes one step beyond that. If you're not ready to take up the challenge, you can instead take the bottom route and try again. I had done something similar for my now dead game, Godash, a speedrun focused game where the player's core gameplay is its dash mechanic, which acts both as a means of making long leaps into the air and attacking the enemy. So it only makes sense that I make platforms fallen away from each other, nearing the end of the player's intended jump length, thereby preserving their momentum as compared to keeping the platforms close, causing the players to break their momentum just to land on them. Let me walk you through one such instance where I provided support and subsequent challenge to my core dash mechanic. Notice here, my main goal for this set piece was for the player to dash onto the platform, kill the enemy, land, and then dash up to access the rest of the level. I will play this part and I want you to notice the issue here. Notice it? There are 2 issues here. One, the bottom platforms are too close to each other, causing the player to slam into the wall and break their momentum. Second, this step-up platform that I although had initially designed to highlight the enemy just aggravates this problem more, causing the player to not build the momentum required to jump higher. So how do we solve it? We first increase the distance between the bottom platforms, solving the first issue, and second, remove the step-up platform entirely and instead bring the whole base just a tad bit higher, giving the same effect of highlighting the enemy without breaking the player's momentum. Okay, now let's take an example of how not to make levels. Welcome to Sonic Advance 2. Man, this game sucks, especially the second half, where the game randomly decides to ramp up its difficulty by actively punishing the player for using the support the level has given it the way it is intended to be used. Rapid fire. Let's look at Sky Canyon, a spring that leads to death. This ramp that cancels out all momentum. This ramp that leads to death. This spinning wheel that leads to death. This spike that stops all momentum. Out of screen spike of death. Out of screen burst of death. Now that you have the theoretical knowledge of making levels, why not put it to practice by watching this video, wherein I teach you how you can make a 3D level for Godot without the use of Blender, making it a good starting point for any aspiring level designers. And if not, well, like and subscribe.